Hello, everyone. Once again, sincere thanks for your time and also your strong support. Today, I'd like to continue on our discussion on angle modulation. For this video, I'm going to share with you how we actually can calculate bandwidth for frequency modulation using two methods. The first method is using the Carson rule. Another method is use the Bessel function table. On the previous video, I actually share how we actually can use Bessel function table to determine which are the coefficient that is significant for a frequency modulation. I have also done a video to show how we actually can calculate the bandwidth using Bessel function table. That particular video is actually a request from my student in the middle of the night. Basically, what happened is on the next day, they have a test, okay, and they send a WhatsApp message to ask for help how to calculate bandwidth for a frequency modulation using Bessel function table. Okay, so for this video, I'm going to do a formal discussion. How can we actually calculate the FM bandwidth based on Carson rule, which is also known as the approximate method? As the name implies, Carson rule is basically an estimate method to calculate the bandwidth. This method, Carson rule, is basically much more easier to apply as compared to the Bessel function table. You will be able to take a look later on how different these two methods is. This will be the part 5 series discussion. The earlier on series discussion on frequency modulation, I have put the video link under the description. So please go through the video if you're keen to know more about frequency modulation. This is my email. If you have any question regards on today's discussion, please drop me an email. Before I continue, I'd like to urge you guys to support this video by pressing the like and subscribe button. Please also turn on your notification bell in order to receive more information from this channel. Guys, I realize that I'm having lesser comment. Please also comment so that I can improve my content and also my delivery. Once again, sincere thanks for your strong support. Firstly, okay, again, let's discuss what is the bandwidth for frequency method using the Bessel function method. Theoretically, FM signal has an infinite number of side frequency and hence will have an infinite bandwidth. So what does this mean? Let's take a look on this diagram here. So as the name implies here, technically, okay, for FM, they basically has an infinite number of side frequency, okay, which means that this go on and on, okay, all the way to the right and all the way to the left. And because of this, technically, we should have infinite bandwidth. So this is the what it means by the first sentences. However, for practical purpose, side frequency that is less than 1% of the amplitude of the carrier signal are considered as insignificant and hence can be ignored. Okay, for example, over here, let's say from the fourth coefficient onward, okay, the fourth coefficient is actually less than 1% of the amplitude of the carrier signal. Basically, all these will be dropped, which means that I only consider up to 3. The fourth one, which is less than 1% of the amplitude of the carrier signal, basically will be dropped. So this is what it means here. The bandwidth for frequency modulation based on the Bessel function table is known as this equation here. Okay, let's take a look over here. For example, when you actually calculate using Bessel function table, it's actually 2 times Nmax times Fm. Okay, let me give you a clearer idea how we actually can calculate the bandwidth. Okay, we always say this, okay, the bandwidth is always the highest frequency minus the lowest frequency. Okay, for example, let's go back to what I mentioned earlier on. Okay, we only have 3 significant sideband. The fourth one we ignore because it's actually less than 1% of the carrier signal. So we actually have 3 coefficients. And then on the other side here, we also have 3 significant coefficients. So what is the bandwidth is simply using the upper, okay, which is the upper frequency minus the lower frequency. So from here, you can calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my bandwidth is equal to 6 times the frequency of the modulating signal. Do you agree? So over here, can you take a look here? So basically, this is 2. I have 3 significant so-called coefficient from Bessel function table. So 2 times 3 times FM, which is the frequency of the modulating frequency. And from here, you can also see that the bandwidth is actually equal to 6 times FM, which is exactly what I mean. From the highest frequency minus the lowest frequency, which is 6 FM. Over here, if you apply the equation, which is 2 times 3 times FM, which is also 6 times the frequency of the modulating signal. Okay, so this is how we arrive the bandwidth for a Bessel function based on a frequency modulation. Another expression known as Carson rule can be used to approximate the bandwidth of the FM signal. Okay, so this is the equation to calculate the bandwidth using this Carson rule. Okay, later on, I will show you to you an example how we actually can calculate the bandwidth using both Carson rule and also Bessel function table. Okay, we're going to do a very quick comparison. How different is the number of the bandwidth that we use these two different methods to calculate? Let's talk about frequency modulation power. The total power in a FM signal is equal to the power of the unmodulated carrier as the peak amplitude of the modulated carrier remain at the value of the unmodulated carrier. Okay, which means that the total power for FM signal is actually equals to the power of the unmodulated carrier. Okay, which means that even with info on the modulated signal, they are actually exactly the same as the power of the unmodulated carrier, as the peak amplitude of the modulated carrier and also unmodulated carrier, they are exactly the same. And therefore, my power at the modulated signal for FM is equals to exactly the power of the unmodulated carrier. And therefore, over here, you can see from this equation here, the total average FM power, which is equals to the average power in the unmodulated carrier, which can be expressed in this equation here. Remember, this is P V squared divided by R initially. Okay, but remember, this is V peak, so I need to convert the V peak to RMS, and therefore my power become EC squared divided by 2R. Okay, maybe I will do another video to explain why there will be a 2R over here. Okay, because we do a conversion from V peak to RMS. Therefore, we have this 2. But at this moment, let's take this. This is the total power for frequency modulation and also the total power for the unmodulated carrier, which is the amplitude, peak amplitude of the carrier signal squared divided by 2R. So they are exactly the same. The power of the FM signal is distributed across the carrier and side frequency as shown in the power spectrum. Okay, later on I will show you the power spectrum to calculate the total power of the FM signal. This is what I have arrived on the previous video, okay, which is to draw the amplitude spectrum. Okay, so if you have forgotten how I actually can obtain the amplitude spectrum, please refer back to the FM discussion on the part 4 series. Okay, so again, remember this. This is basically the power spectrum. Remember, these are all voltage, but over here all become watt. So this is actually what happened here. Basically, can you see over here? For example, this is the power at the carrier. Can you see here? So what I need to do is basically I take this V squared divided by 2R, which I have shown it over here. So in order to obtain the power, then what I need to do is I need to get the V peak value, which is, for example, for this particular case, which is the carrier side here. I do a square and I actually divide by 2R. I rearrange the formula. Can you see here? This is J naught squared. This is the total power of the frequency modulation, and therefore I can express in this form. So therefore over here is J naught squared PT. And basically all these different coefficients, okay, they actually will determine the total power at that particular frequency. If you take a look on this power spectrum here. Okay, so this is how I convert from amplitude spectrum to power spectrum. Firstly, at amplitude spectrum, I have everything that is in terms of voltage. Firstly, I need to convert them into power, and this formula is actually shown on the previous page. What I need to do, if you take a close look, this is basically the V peak at the carrier frequency. as squared divided by 2R, I actually convert this into power. And I also replace all those terms on all those significant coefficients. So this is how I actually obtain the power spectrum. Let's do an example. An FM signal. Okay, so this is a FM signal. Okay, basically they are applied to a 50 ohm antenna. Okay, I'm tasked firstly to find what is the modulating signal, what is the modulation index, the peak frequency deviation, the total power, the bandwidth using the Bessel function method, and also the Carson rule. And last but not least, draw the power spectrum. Okay, let's do the ABC first. Okay, so this is the expression that is given in the question. So this is how we express the frequency modulated signal in general. So by inspection, okay, which means that I compare the coefficient, I actually can find all the key parameters here. Okay, for example, okay, I will be able to know the carrier, okay, which is 20. Okay, I will be also able to know my frequency of the carrier signal, which is 100 megahertz. Modulation index is equals to 0.5. The frequency of the modulating signal is equals to 500 kilohertz. So therefore, the first task asked me to find the modulating signal. So therefore, over here, I found is 500 kilohertz. The question on part B asked me to find the modulation index. Again, by inspection, okay, I can find the modulation index as 0.5. Next, the question tasked me to find the peak frequency deviation. I'm not sure whether are you still able to recall this set of formula. Okay, so this is basically the modulation index. This is the peak frequency deviation divided by the frequency of the modulating signal. So I'm tasked to find the peak frequency modulation. Okay, I have the modulation index. I also have the modulating signal. So with this, I actually can find the peak frequency deviation by doing a cross product, which is 250 kilohertz. Next, I'm tasked to find the total power for frequency modulation power. Okay, so remember for frequency modulation, the power remain intact. Okay, remember for AM, we actually have 3 possible scenarios. But for frequency modulation, the total power is exactly the same as the power with the unmodulated carrier, which is governed by this equation, EC squared divided by 2R. Remember EC from the previous page, which is equals to 20. So from here, I can compute that the total power is equals to 4 watt. Next, I'm tasked to find the bandwidth using the two methods. One is using the Bessel function method. Another one is using the Carson rule. Okay, so let me show you how to use Bessel function table. Okay, from Bessel function table, I actually obtained from the question, the modulation index is equals to 0.5. And from here, I actually can lump up the Bessel function table in this particular row here. From here, I can compute that the higher significant coefficient is equals to 2. Can you see here? Basically, this is the biggest number that is on the extreme right. I look up. Basically, I can see that the highest possible coefficient is 2. So therefore, I know that the highest value of significant coefficient is equals to 2. Next, I can apply the bandwidth formula using the Bessel function table, which is shown over here, which is 2 times Nmax times frequency of the modulating signal. Okay, so from here, I know that this is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 500 kilohertz, which I can calculate 2 megahertz. So this is the frequency of the frequency modulation using Bessel function table. Next, I'm going to apply using the Carson rule. Okay, remember, this is the formula to calculate bandwidth using Carson rule. Again, from here, I know that this is 2. Okay, the peak frequency deviation, which I have found earlier on, which is 250 kilohertz. The frequency of the modulating signal, which I also know, which is 500. So from here, I can compute that the total bandwidth using Carson rule, which is 1.5 megahertz. Technically, okay, I would say that this is more accurate. Remember, Carson rule also refer as approximate, which means that this is just an estimate bandwidth. This is the actual bandwidth. However, from here you can see that the answer are pretty close to each other. However, you can also see that the ease of using Carson rule, I don't actually need to refer to the Bessel function table. I can easily compute the bandwidth by applying this equation. While I use the Bessel function table, I need to use this particular table in order to find the bandwidth by the method of Bessel function table. So therefore, this method using Carson rule give us a very good approximate the size of the bandwidth for frequency modulation. Last but not least, I'm also tasked to draw the power spectrum. Okay, I'm not sure if you can still remember how I draw the amplitude spectrum. Over here, I just concentrate how we actually can draw on the power spectrum. Okay, so this is all the significant coefficient from the Bessel function table. Okay, remember the modulation index is equal to 0.5. So therefore, from here, I can actually see that I have three terms. Okay, the first term is 0.94 here, 0.24, and 0.03 here. Okay, how we can compute the power, if you still remember based on the chart here, basically, the power is equal to Jn squared divided by the power, the total power here. So from here, you can actually compute that the power at the carrier here, which is Jn squared over the total power that I calculate for the frequency modulated signal. So from here, I can compute that this is 0.94 squared multiplied by 4, which is 3.53. So this is for the second term, okay, over here, so which is 0.24 here squared multiplied by the total power, which is 4, which I obtained 0.23 watt. As for the second significant coefficient from the Bessel function table, I can also compute the power, okay, which is 0.03 squared multiplied by the total power, which result in 0.004. Okay, remember the frequency right in the middle is basically the frequency of the carrier signal, which is 100 megahertz. So therefore, this is basically FC, which is equal to 100 megahertz. Remember how they flank on the left and on the right? Basically, they separate by the frequency of the modulating signal. Can you still remember? So basically, this component separate to the first significant coefficient of the Bessel function by a factor of Fm, frequency of the modulating signal. So therefore, I also know that the frequency of the modulating signal is actually 500 kilohertz. Let me recall, is it 500 kilohertz here? Yep, 500 kilohertz here. So therefore, what I need to do is basically I take 100 meg minus 500 kilohertz and plus 500 kilohertz. So this is the first coefficient. The second coefficient will be, instead of 1 FM, will be 2 FM, which is 99 and 101 megahertz. So with this, I'm ready to draw the power spectrum. Okay, right in the middle is 100, having a peak of 3.53 here. So basically, this is what I do. So on the flank by those side, one is 99.5, another one is 100.5. Basically, they have the same power coefficient of 0.23, as you can see from here. And last but not least, on the second significant coefficient, here I have it at the frequency at 99 and 101 megahertz, which is shown here. Basically, they have the power coefficient of 0.004, which is shown from here. Okay, we can also double check the total power. Remember, for the total power for frequency modulation, I can actually add all these individual parts together. And remember, as I shared with you, the total power for frequency modulation is equal to 4 watt. Can you still remember? Over here, so it's equal to 4 watt. So if I add all these components all together, you can see that I actually obtain 4 watt. Okay, which means that they are the same as our modulated carrier power, which I have explained to you earlier on. With this, I'd like to end my discussion. Please help to like and subscribe. Once again, sincere thanks for your support. Thank you.